Hey, my name is Ben. If you follow Acker Outdoors, you probably remember me as being the marketing guy over there. Since I've changed over and done this full time. So one of my first videos I wanted to do is that I do a lot of wraps, overlays, and that kind of stuff, and I wanted to show how you can do it at home. Say if you don't want to buy a holster that's wrapped, or you say funds are tight, or say you just want to try it out. I wanted to do a tutorial. So, um, a lot of us holster makers, some of us will buy pre-done kydex. For me, what I do is I use my own fabric, so that way it gives me a little more controllability of the color of the kydex and also the fabric. And I use what's called, that's 3M 300 LSE. Let's see if I can see it. All right. QVO, they were actually the ones who originally, I saw a video on it and they explained kind of what they do. They also sell it in 5 packs. You can also get it on Amazon. It's sold to dance, I think is what it is. If you look at it, you can get um, pretty decent prices for this stuff. If you really want to knock down the price, you have to buy like a 600-yard roll. So that is an option if you're a holster maker. This will really only apply to you because I'm not sure how you do this the way I'm going to show you. So, I have a holster that a customer bought, and then they decided that they wanted an outside, but they wanted exactly the same way. So this is an inside. Basically, they ordered the same thing but had on this side, so they can use the same clip. As long as the customer's happy, it's all that matters. So I figured it was a good time to show you how to do this. So a couple of things you're going to need. Your fabric. I like using anything that's Cordura 500D. And the biggest thing is if it has this kind of like a sealant on the back, you can do this method with pretty much almost most fabrics and stuff. But with the canvas type stuff, it has this coating on the back. Makes your life a lot easier. If you follow me, I did a Pendleton blanket. Here's parts of it. It's very, very porous, so I had to do several coats to let the glue soak into the fabric to create a layer for the glue to sit on so that it would adhere to the other side. So you're going to need your fabric. Obviously, you're going to need your thing you're going to wrap. To make it cleaner, what I do is disassemble everything, so it's just the kydex. If you have eyelets on it and you don't have an eyelet machine to redo the eyelets, then you're going to have to either wrap over it or cut around it. I would say this would be the best type of candidates because you can take everything off. Here you need glue. This is what I've found works the best for me. It's Barge's all-purpose cement. On Amazon, it's about $30 some. If you go to Tandy Leather, if you have one at your wherever you live, it's about $29. So it's a little bit cheaper because you don't have to pay shipping. And either way, it's about $30. Another thing you're gonna need is a good knife. So an X-Acto is gonna be preferable. You could do with the. I've done it with a utility. So utility blade. Make sure it's a brand new blade. I like the DeWalt ones. I think that they stay the sharpest, the longest. They cost like a little bit more, but I think they work the best. And then one more. This for me is I guess my secret tool. So a Dremel with a felt wheel on it. This will make your edges perfect. I'm going to show you the entire process. I'm going to speed up through some areas and then talk about certain spots. But for the most part, it's honestly it's contact cement. So the nice thing about this is that you will put it on your fabric, put it on your piece of Kydex. This claims it has a 4-hour work time. So it says you can brush one coat on each part and let them dry for 5 minutes to 4 hours or longer. That's pretty nuts. So I usually just wait until it's flashed over and the glossiness is gone and it's kind of that flat, and it'll turn like a little bit more of a yellow orange. I'm sure that other holster makers are probably using different glues. I've found that this stuff is going to be the best. Aerosols work okay. Like 3M 90 Super or 77 work okay, but I've noticed that those ones require a lot of pressure in order to work. Whereas this is pretty much once it's on, like it's on. You don't have to sit there and hold pressure to make it work, because 90 works really good, but if you don't have a period of time where it's going to have a lot of pressure to it, it won't adhere as well as some other things. So like, these are kind of an example. I did this with the Barges cement. Right now I'm doing a sale on these. I think I have a couple left, but I will wrap them for you for a pretty cheap price, and I've got a lot of cool fabrics. So if you don't want to do it yourself, I can do it. So I'm gonna set up and kind of show you my process, and hopefully after this you can do it yourself, or you reach out and I'll do it for you. So either way, let's get into this. Okay, so we've got our piece of fabric. This is Crypto Typhoon, Cadora 500D or 500 denier. So obviously we're going to prep it. I've already done it, but you want to clean this with an alcohol solution, or even like wash it in your sink with like a dish soap or something. You basically just want to degrease it so it sticks better. If you have a new can of this, like this one, it comes out really liquidy, so it's pretty viscous. You basically, let's take one step back. So as far as the size, you can, if you want to take your fabric, lay it out. So technically I could probably, let's do that. I can cut it down so I don't have as big a product. I pre-cut all of mine to 12 by 8 because I put them on the Kydex first. I don't do a lot of wraps like this. Mainly I do like magazines and other random stuff. So we got our piece of cloth. That'll be close enough. And then the easy part is you just want to cover it. So a little bit goes a long ways. Just make sure it's all covered. This is probably the easiest part. Laying the fabric is I would say the most challenging, to try to get as much wrinkles out of it. So yeah, we'll speed it up and stop it when we are getting to lay the fabric down. Stuff is pretty toxic. It's got a lot of fumes. Definitely make sure your area is ventilated. I've got door open, so and then also to reiterate, so with my holster company, I don't send out holsters this way. The main reason is because this takes a lot more time than if I do it the other method, which is just using the 3M tape. And then I'm also putting the stuff on as well as molding to my making the holster. I do this mainly for people who've changed their mind, decided they want to wrap it later, or if they have something they want wrapped. I've used this for when I did the Pendleton blanket. The main reason is I wasn't sure how well it would do with the temperature. And also I noticed that this actually worked better with this than it did the tape. I do test everything before I try to wrap it. I've done cowhide for cowgins. I've done the blanket. I've done quite a bit of random things, so I've got a decent amount of experience with it. So far, this has worked good. I've not had any issues. My buddy with the Pelms and Blankets been running his inside the waistband for the last 3 months and has zero wear. So, anyways, so this is almost there. Looks like I went a little bit heavy here, so that needs to dry, and this is about ready. So while this is drying, we can at least go over when you want to lay it. You can also do this in sections. So you could do this side and then half, so that way that doesn't accidentally stick. I've done it enough where I have a method to it, so I'm not too worried about wrapping it this way. If you want to just make it go slower, it's definitely easier to glue, do it, flip it over, lay it out, and then glue both and then wrap it. When you're going to lay it down, a few things to take into consideration are where some crevices are going to be. So on this one should be fairly easy. It should lay pretty nice. The only issues are probably going to be right here, and then maybe there. But everything's a pretty smooth transition. This is an older holster I've been sitting around, and I figured this would be a good candidate to get played with. My definition's a lot different now. Let's see. Anything that's sitting next to me. I don't know if you can see this. So here you can really see everything, even these little tiny rivets. This is about, I don't know, maybe a year old-ish, somewhere around there. And then this is a day or two. So this is for a revolver, a memorial. It's pretty cool. It's for a Model 13, I believe. The guy passed away back in '87 and was gifted down. And I had to do some stuff in here. So if you need custom, I can help you with that. But so anyways, so let's get to wrapping. So basically you kind of want to find halfway, or wherever that is, and I'll go about here. Yeah, that'll be fine. So obviously it sticks really well. So what I'll do, this one's gonna be the easier side, just slowly start working into all the crevices. Where I'm doing is taking my hand and basically gonna walk it up, but I'm gonna rub it down as it goes up. So, out of focus, there we go. So you're gonna work your way up. Normally, if it was a deeper crevice, I would lay the fabric inside it and work my way out so that you don't have any tenting. But yeah, just work your way. And the biggest thing is you just want to make sure that all of the glue and the fabric touch together. This does not have very much give, which kind of makes it harder to wrap. Canvas is strong stuff, so you definitely want to try to pre-plan this a little bit, kind of figure out where you're really going to go. But you can kind of tell a little bit. Let's move your focus over here. All right, so kind of got it laid out. It's starting to come out. So you can use, I don't really use popsicle sticks for blocking anymore, more of standoffs than anything, because they're easy to cut. They work really good as a pusher. So if you need to get into that, so anything that's going to be like a plastic or even these woods will help get that definition a lot tighter. So as you can see, some of those definitions coming out a little bit better. So there's one half. It's not completely done, but I just want to get this other side wrapped. So again, you're just going to go slow, lay it down. Something like this. Sometimes you can hide your wrinkles under mounting points. If something's not going to be seen, that's where maybe I'll try to throw a wrinkle if it's gonna happen. But you should be able to stretch it. See, this one's coming out pretty good. It's got a little bit of wrinkling, but we can work it out. So just keep working it and stretching it. And then, let's see. Alright. So, here's an example. It's all tinting. Let's get a smaller one. So, using a popsicle stick. See, you can start working out all those wrinkles. Nice thing here is, yes, there's wrinkles, but that's where the Kydex stops. So you can work it out. And if it wrinkles past that, then that's not going to be a big deal. Okay. Alright, so we're going to take our X-Acto knife, and so you can go about this two ways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it as close as possible, but I'm also going to be using my other method to clean it up, so I'm not worried too much. If you do not have a buffer wheel, make sure that your blade is super sharp. This will make it a lot easier. So you just want to start at the edge and start working your way around the side. Big thing is when you're cutting, let's see, let's put the focus here. Alright, so when you're cutting, you want to try to go to the edge, or if you know that you're going to possibly mess up, cut past it and then cut back again to clean it up. You can take off more and then take off a little bit less after, just so that you can kind of, yeah. Alright, let's bring it down just a little bit. I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright. Alright, so see how it's all jagged? It's nice because you have a little more fabric, so you can sit there and go back. And I kind of just go right along the edge. And that way you can, it's hard to do with the camera. So you can start getting a better edge. Alright, I'm going to cut this out and I'll show you two ways to clean up your holes. So this one has holes here and holes in the front and back. You can obviously cut it out, but I've got another method if you want to try it out. So I'll show you here in a second. We'll show you some other cool tips to hopefully make your wrap a little bit easier. So we got a fairly rough cut. So everything's cut. So when you're another technique is when you're cutting it, if you pull the fabric a little bit taut, as you cut it, it makes it a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier, and you're not fighting it. If the fabric is loose, it's a lot harder. So if you can have one hand holding it and have another hand pulling it tight, like I said, it'll come out pretty clean. Ooh. Okay, so my other method. So you still have to um, do all the holes. This is really gonna be most beneficial. It'll work with either one, but it'll be most beneficial for if you're drilling um, your cloth overlaid stuff. So if you're a holster maker and you kind of get those fuzzies, I know you can cut it and it comes out okay, but I don't know. I'm very visual, so you can get these on Amazon. Let me show you. Comes with a bunch of these, a bunch of these. You get these. They're all just felt, I guess, buffing. I don't put any compounds on it. So with this, we're basically going to make these almost perfect. So, so these turned out, I think, pretty good. So it makes it almost perfectly circular. So if you have, say, a cant in it and you have this showing, it's still gonna look good. The other thing is that it's made of nylon, so it melts it a little bit. So prevents fraying. So there's that. So here's my thing. Your Dremel. You can throw a new one on. This one has been used, but it'll work. There's still plenty of stuff on it. There is a technique to this. So, if you notice, we'll see if I can get it. Okay, so it spins that way. It says it spins that way. So if you hold it this way, it spins down. Okay, when you're going along the edge, I always do it this way. If you go like this, it doesn't work as well. You want it to come down and across. This, if you go easy with it, it does not take much, if any, of the kydex off. It will basically almost melt the edge, and then if you want to go back over, you can, touch up the edges. This may not be the most efficient way, but this is actually how I do. If you have a cloth holster from me, this is how I finish every single one of them. It just looks better. I know that the edges are going to last longer. They're not going to fray. They're going to fray probably eventually, but because it's cloth. But this melts it, so it's the same as if you light fabric and it melts. It prevents fraying. This does the exact same thing. I don't know who else does this. I know QVO. I think they do something similar to this, but they use a buffing wheel. I only do this because it's a little bit more control, and I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm sure it has the same results. So I'm going to see if I can get you on top so you can kind of watch what I'm doing and the way that I go across it. This also is more accessible for the hobbyists because more people have Dremels. Dremels are fairly easy to get, or a rotary tool. And these, I want to say they were like $20 for that, all those buffing pieces. But it will definitely make your edges 100 times better than just cutting them. So, oh yeah, and safety first. Alright, so here's the final product. It's a little dusty. If you rinse it off with water, why I like using, also like using 500D, is that it just wicks right off. So there it is. So you can see edges look super nice. I like it where the kydex is exposed. If you get these little edges, you can either use the buffer wheel, take them off, or you can just use your finger. They're like, if you were to sharpen a knife, that little edge, it's the same thing. You can use your finger and just scrape it right off. But there you go. So hopefully tag me and stuff you wrap, or if you want some stuff wrapped, message me on Instagram and on my website, havokholsters.com. I'm more than happy to wrap whatever you want. Or if you want to get a holster from me already wrapped, I can do that too. I'll be offering this as a standard service, so if you wanted to get a UBL wrapped, I can do that too. If I still have them, I have them for sale right now. I got a really good price on them. And yeah, watch out for more videos. This is my first one for havokholsters.com. And hopefully you guys see me grow and move into a commercial building and get big and do some cool stuff. So please like and subscribe and follow me along. Peace.